is A Wee Natter. I'm Mark Steele, and across the table from me is
Jenny Steele.
And we are joining you on the day, well, even the week, where the world is just entirely broken. I don't know what's happened. Things are just confusing and strange. Somehow, an England football team won on penalties.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. That's got to be a first for me.
I'm that level of confused. As a Scotsman, I'm going to have to revert to type, and I've ordered my Netherlands t-shirt and flags ready for the semi-final games. Well, you've just got to go back to sort of thing, haven't you?
No.
No.
We're coming home.
Well,
Well, it's coming home. I hope we're not coming home next week.
Well, the team's got to come home either way. Whether the trophy comes from or not is a completely different story. But the Postbag has arrived, which is a nice, positive, upbeat thing. And last week, we were asking about the ordinary foods you've not tried when I revealed that I have never, in my life, eaten a Big Mac. I've had plenty of opportunity, it's just never been interesting enough, never happened. A couple of you been in touch, including Monica Eriksson, saying, I have never dared to eat octopus.
Oh no.
Not even in Croatia, where I was on holiday in May, although it's their national dish. Not very eager to try it in the future.
No.
That's calamari, isn't it? That's octopus, isn't it?
I think so, actually.
I've tried that. That's quite nice.
No.
And nothing wrong with that at all. Danielle Ferry saying, I am an adventurous eater. I am willing to eat something I've never had before. I would like to try kimchi, a traditional Korean side dish.
What's that then?
If I remember correctly, kimchi is one of those things where it's really popular in Korea. You're right there, Daniela. But when people hear about it, they go, oh my God, how's that a thing? It's a bit like when you hear about haggis and you hear what that is. You're like, oh my God, how's that a thing? Yeah. Kimchi, and here's the description of it: Korean side dish consisting of salted and fermented vegetables. Which has got me wondering if you can get drunk on kimchi while you're eating it as well. It's a bit like Guinness, it fills you up as you're drinking it. Also been in touch has been Sam, with the story that there's not many foods that I haven't tried. The ratio of foods I have tried versus haven't is very heavily in the favour I have tried. But off the top of my head, I haven't tried. And he's come with a complete list.
Oh, bless Sam.
So we're going to have to turn it into countdown. Avocado. I don't think I've had one of those.
I've never tried an avocado either.
It's supposed to be a millennial thing. Avocado and toast, isn't it? Artichoke.
No, I never tried that.
Swordfish.
No.
Monkfish.
No.
Not to be confused with the TV show Monk. Crab.
No, I've never tried crab.
Lobster.
No.
There's a lot of seafood in this.
There is a lot of seafood.
Have you just never been to Hull or anything like that? Or Grimsby? You know, they are things. Also on the list, prawns, mussels, oysters, octopus, crayfish, pheasant.
No.
I've seen a pheasant hanging in somebody's garden, ready to be prepared. Game and dragon fruits.
I was going to say dragonfly.
No, dragon fruit is something very different.
I've not tried any of those either.
Well, a lot of these, I'm looking at them going, no, you're all right, mate.
Me too.
I'll leave you to it. Yeah. Also in touch, Kathleen Jones, still on the seafood thing, saying I need to try sushi. Which is raw fish, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah.
Yep. Vicky Fairweather saying, I commonly talked about food I've yet to try is lasagna.
Lasagna? No, I like a bit of lasagna.
How have you not tried lasagna? What rock have you been hiding under? She's also saying, I'm unsure what it even is. I must find out. Is it something I can eat as a vegetarian, or is there a vegetarian version?
There is a vegetarian version of lasagna, yes.
Once you asked about that, a very old-fashioned thing popped into my head. Linda McCartney ready meals. Not heard about them in decades. Not even sure if they're still a thing. Or even corn. Is that still available in the shops? I've got no idea. Also touched Teresa Mary Ma saying, this is about the age of 6. I became a vegetarian before it became trendy. I'm 70 now, so a huge amount of things I've never eaten. Although, that can be fixed. We have the technology to make fungi taste like beef. We can make things happen. Yeah. And also, Cheryl in touch saying, I tried octopus in Spain when I was 14, didn't know what it was, but I found it chewy. When I was told what it was, I said, I'd never eat it again.
Oh.
It is a bit chewy.
Is it? But
it's nice. I probably shouldn't eat it. Oh. It's not something I regularly go for, but I have tried it, and I can't complain about it. Not about not complaining. We did play one of the England football songs a couple of weeks ago. And Jenny's saying, well, if they're going to get into semis, we've got to celebrate that and try and Jane on. But another one is Badil and Skinner and the Lightning Seeds with Free Lions. He even gets a name check in the song, going back to the years when Gareth Southgate was still his player. Free Lions, Badil and Skinner and the Lightning Seeds, of course. It's A Wee Natter from Bo Radio and Fatcham Town Radio 2. Nice to have you along on a Sunday evening. And with recent political events, I've been out about a bit more than usual. You know, meeting every dog at the letterbox and even getting the odd dramatic ripping of a leaflet in the garden. Always by somebody dressed in nightmare in the middle of the day. Never got that bit. But as well as meeting the fine residents of Sherwood, maybe like you or your neighbours, dear listener, I also got to see some of the things that people have done with their houses. Because you're going from house to house, aren't you? You're visiting every house.
I like that sort of thing.
A bit like the postie or the milkman or something like that, but not getting in quite as much trouble. But for a nation that loves our green lands, we do love some fake grass, don't we? It is absolutely everywhere, and it's been dry. That's the only bit of summer we've had. It's not been warm, but it's been dry. So it looks out of place against the yellowing real grass that the neighbours have. You just have this luminous green thing in the middle. It looks so fake. And it's so 1970s with that concrete that everyone's putting in. You know, you got to love a bit of brutalism against the contrast of Sherwood Forest. It really ties it all together. But it's got me wondering, when I've been going around seeing this sort of stuff, is there anything you thought was a good idea and even come close to buying, but never quite followed through with? So anything like that, we've gone, oh yeah, I quite like that. Thought it was a good idea, almost bought it, and then you look back and go, oh, I'm kind of glad I didn't. Is there anything like that at all in your life, dear listener?
I don't think there is in me. I mean, I look back at things and think, I wish I brought it. Not that I regret not buying it. Not that, why did I buy that? I don't know.
Oh, it's an interesting one to think about. It could be as big as a Tesla that you're glad you couldn't afford, or as small as a tramp stamp that you'd been eyeing up, and you look back now and go, well, on my wrinkly body, it wouldn't look particularly brilliant.
Yeah.
It could be as big or as small as that. We want to hear from you. Get in touch on the phone 01623 888 730. You can text 073 79 78 49 00, or you can email requests at bowradio.co.uk. And while you're confessing about those things that you went, I'd really love one of those, you never quite got around to buying it, you look back and go, I'm glad I didn't. We will put you in the very safe hands of Snoop Doggy Dogg and Katy Perry.
Greetings, loved ones.
Lonnie Gordon's claiming it's happening all over again. She doesn't give evidence, but she does sing it. And before that, Katy Perry and Snoop Doggy Dogg, before he became Snoop Lion, and then back to Snoop Doggy Dogg. California Girls, it's A Wee Natter from Bo Radio and Fatcham Town Radio 2. Thanks for joining us this fine Sunday evening.
Covers versus originals.
This is the very important bit where we put you, yes you dear listener, in charge of the music by pitting the cover version of a song against the original version of the song. It is a titanic struggle to choose which one's going to be playing on the radio. So we put that difficult decision in your hands. I know, it's crazy. And this week you'll be choosing which version of The Love I Lost is going to be playing. Will it be Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes or West End featuring Sybil? It's up to you. Get in touch on the phone 01623 888 730. You can text 073 79 78 49 00, or you can email requests at bowradio.co.uk and tell us which version of The Love I Lost is going to play on this fine radio show after Sabrina Carpenter sings for us about a type of coffee. I don't get it either.
Think about me every night, so.
Who says we can't play current hits on this fine community radio station? Nobody did, but we still played one anyway.
Covers versus originals.
It is indeed Covers versus Originals, where you have got to choose between Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes version of The Love I Lost or West End versus featuring Sybil. I make versus sound like it's a fight or something like that. The version of The Love I Lost. Couple of key points in that one. We have had a vote for Sybil, and we've had a vote or two for the other one as well. So they're pretty even pegging at the moment. So you can still influence it, dear listener. If you get on the phone 01623 888 730, or you can text me 073 79 78 49 00, or you can email requests at bowradio.co.uk. But another point that's been made is that one or two of you, dear listener, aren't familiar with those songs.
Oh, you're going to play a few clips?
I would, but the technology's letting me down on that front.
Oh.
So the other option is that I try and sing it, but I'm not sure it's a very good idea. So instead, because Sandra owns us so nicely, can you play some Springsteen, please? Well, while you are making that final decision, dear listener, here's Born to Run. It's the boss and Born to Run. It's a wee natter from Bow Radio and Fatcham Town Radio 2.
Bow Radio would like to thank all our sponsors. We couldn't be here without you.
Indeed, this is Bow Radio with special thanks to the Lions, Property Aircheck Mansfield, Ullerton and Booton Town Council, Arnold Clark Cars, Edwinstowe Parish Council, Essential Site Skills Limited, Notts County Council, Walesby Parish Council, Workshop Freemasons, ABIB Motors Tuxford, and Sherwood Grange Care Centre.
Covers versus originals.
It has been quite a fight. You've been making a very difficult decision, choosing between Harold Melvin in the Blue Notes version of The Love I Lost and West End featuring Sybil's version of The Love I Lost. And there has been a few last-minute votes from people like Maureen, Vicky, and a couple others as well. Stephen as well.
Stephen Hall, yes, the original.
All going in one direction. Kind of giving away there. We kind of lost attention with the mention of original there. So it is indeed Harold Melvin in the Blue Notes version, The Love I Lost, as chosen by you on A Wee Natter. Proper old-fashioned disco, this one, isn't it? Harold Melvin in the Blue Notes version of The Love I Lost. The only thing that's missing is that glitter ball and a DJ going... Now, you can't understand a word of what they're saying, and it takes you back to that moment, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it very much, the cover sounds very similar, but just a bit more 80s and 90s, I think would probably be the way to say
Yeah, I
it.
prefer the cover. Gotta be honest.
Yeah, but we've got to make it fair votes. we can't be rigging the election. We can't be doing any of that sort of nonsense. And on a slightly different topic, is it only me, or is it you as well, dear listener, that misunderstands advertising? You know, take a road sign I drove past the other day, right? It said, major resurfacing starts on December 2024. Now, I know the roads being fixed around here is on par with discovering a unicorn that farts £1 million cheques. So it can't be that. The roads aren't actually going to get fixed. So what are the county council advertising? They've got a new ex-military guy that's going to start working for them at the end of the year.
What?
Major resurfacing. Apparently it's going to start on December 2024. I'm confused. Why do they need to tell us he's starting work? I don't get it. I mean, fixing sinkholes in workshop with tanks is a new approach. I'll give them points for that. But seriously, something about advertising turns me into a crotchety old man. I have no idea what it is. You know, sofa sale, ends tomorrow. You must buy now. But we all know that it'll start next week. A new one next week. Ain't going to fall for it. I'm not going to fall for any of your nonsense. You know, I'm not going for any high-pressure sales thing. Oh, you got to have the deal today. No, I'll come back when I feel like it. I'm not going to buy it just because you want me to. Or banks. And they'll claim they'll look after you and your community. Aye, until you have no money. And then suddenly, they're not interested. They don't care about you at that point. Or, you know, it'll be amazing if you go somewhere on the train until they're on strike or can't run because some muppet snuck onto the line or something like that. You know, do you ever find yourself just getting angry with adverts?
Yes, yeah, let's say yes.
Have you had any ones recently that popped to mind?
No, come back to me.
Come back to you. Are you going to get your list together? I was angry with that one, angry with that one, angry with that one. It's got so bad for me, right? The doctor has now prescribed that I don't watch TV, although I suppose on the upside, getting angry with a book instead could be considered exercise as you're sort of ripping it to shreds. It takes more effort than you expect to do that. Amy McDonald, This Is a Life, playing that one as request for
Cheryl Warner.
Yes, a lovely song that I haven't heard in quite a long time, actually. And it turns out I'm not the only person that gets angry at adverts. I know Jenny gets angry at adverts, but the list is so long that she's getting angry just making the list. Also in touch, Vicky Fairweather saying, I was sent an offer for a cruise a few weeks ago, second passenger half price, which sounded a good deal until I realised the price for the first passenger had doubled.
Yeah.
Now, cruises are a bit of a weird one. They wouldn't be my cup of tea, being trapped on a boat, and I get why people do it. But it's one of those things that I really can't get my head around, is that, it's going to be a good holiday, you're going to love it. It feels like a really big ferry in my head. I'm sure it's a wonderful experience, but that's just what I imagine. And the sort of ferry I'm imagining is like crossing the Irish Sea or something like that, properly choppy, it's sex sloshing back and forth, and the puggy machine doesn't work. That's the experience I'm imagining. I suspect a cruise line probably a bit different. Also in touch, Sandra Owen saying, I saw a sign saying single lane traffic, workmen in this area. You may not see them. I think you're onto something there. It's always these really long running roadworks, and I get it. There are some things where you just need to wait for concrete to cure or something like that. But you drive past it day after day after day, and you just see no activity, no change. It does you nothing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And talking about things that are doing you nothing, something appeared at my front door the other day that was a complete and utter surprise. I'll explain what it's all about after the Divine Comedy. The Divine Comedy was something for the weekend. So we Natter on Bo Radio and Thatcham Radio 2. Thanks for joining us. You can also join us on mixcloud.com/live/A Wee Natter, where Huntsville Jamming is joining us from the USA, saying hi there from the USA. I'm going to say hi there back from Sherwood Forest-ish. I say ish because we're not actually in the middle of the forest. we don't have all the creatures joining us like it's some sort of Disney movie or something like that. And the other day, I got a bit of a surprise. I was just reporting around the house and I get a on the door. That's never a good sign when you're not expecting it. So I come down there, and there are some lads with 3 massive boxes at my front door.
Oh.
Apparently, a new bed had been purchased, and guess who has to put it together? I can't promise it'll be level, but it'll be a functional bed. The level, my skills in DIY, I can make things functional even if they look awful. And it's the same if you ask me to do any sort of baking or cookery or something like that. I can make it functional, I can make it edible. It's not going to look pretty. So it's the same with DIY. And I've got to hold my hands up and say sorry to the person that bought my old car with asymmetric plate brakes. So, before I become a liability problem, I think we'll move on very quickly to a bit of, cheesy 80s from Bananarama. I Want You Back on A Wee Natter from Bo Radio and Thatcham Town Radio 2. Every little step I take, and before that, Nanorama, which is not to get confused with Bananarama, which is something to do with your hands. I get confused. I Want You Back is A Wee Natter from Bo Radio and Thatcham Town Radio 2, where we're playing songs as chosen by Jenny at the moment, aren't you? You have been in charge of the playlist, haven't you?
Yeah.
But the problem is Jenny has to pick those songs under some severe restrictions and controls as set by the boss man. We'll explain what it's all about in the brand new feature that replaces Elected, because we've done all that political stuff. We've got to do something new now, and we'll explain what it's all about after this one from Cece Peniston. We Got a Love Fang. So it turns out Danny Wilson is the name of the band, not the name of the chappie. Am I the only person that didn't know that?
Yeah.
Oh, charming. There we go. Mary's Prayer. Also in touch on that one, Vicky Fairweather saying, love this song. Played it over and over for a rough time several years back. It is a proper upbeat, get you back in the mood song, isn't it? And talking about music...
Mission Musical Freedom.
I've just realised it sounds like we got the devil on board for this one. Maybe we need to cut down on the effects a little bit. Just a bit of advice for whoever put that together. Anyway, yes, it is Mission Musical Freedom, our brand new thing where, well, it turns out we've got a boss, dear listener, who's very strict about the music we play on this fine radio station. It's got to be good, and from a short list that he has made, right? The problem is, lots of fantastic songs are hidden in the archives, but to let you hear them on the wireless, we've got to sneak them out, right? So we've been digging a tunnel underneath the bungalow that we're sitting in right now and into the archives. I'll admit, I did screw up a bit, and we ended up in the village hall, and the WI were definitely not happy with that one. But we did manage to sneak a song through for this week. Katie Tunstall Other Side of the World by an artist that you've probably completely forgotten about, and we're going back almost 20 years, and we've got a little story connected to it as well.
Yeah, well, I don't know if Hank's listening tonight, but basically Hank has said that Katie Tunstall, a very nice lady, he interviewed her for a Dutch radio show that he did back in the 90s, and apparently they still have contact. We've still got contact with her today. She was living in the USA for a while, and she's now back in the UK since 2022.
So proper hobnobbing.
Hank knows her.
Hobnobbing with the stars there from 20 years ago. So straight out of the archives in Mission Musical Freedom, it is Katie Tunstall, Other Side of the World. And if you have got a nugget you want us to sneak out the archives for next week, then do get in touch, dear listener. We'd love to hear your suggestions. Dexy's Midnight Hours with a bit of hearsay, and Jackie Wilson said before that Katie Tunstall, Other Side of the World, and apparently Cheryl's been in touch about that one, hasn't she?
Yeah, she says it's a beautiful song. I know, because I picked it.
Shh. Giving away all the secrets there, dear listener.
Yeah, and Ellie was just saying, thinking about things I wanted to buy and didn't. It's usually I see one and need, so I end up with a load of stuff I don't need.
Oh, so you do the complete opposite, where you buy everything.
Yes, me.
Oh, does that include stuff that you see on telly shopping at like 2 a.m?
Yeah.
You come home after a night out, you're drunk, you stick the telly on, and there's a telly shopping stuff, like a Swiffer or some sort of cleaning thing that you've got no use for. You don't have an oak chest of drawers, but it's a cleaning fluid for an oak chest of drawers, and you buy it, and you suddenly go, why did I purchase that?
Or a mower for a garden you don't have.
I've totally not done that one before.
The Super Shonky Sunday Quiz.
A Wee Natter with Jenny and Mark Steele on Bow Radio.
It is indeed the quiz that is so shonky you can forgive us a pub quiz with only one question. And this week's question is, well, a bit of a strange one. It's one of those you either know the answer or you don't. You won't be able to puzzle it out. You'll either know the answer or you won't, dear listener. St George is the patron saint of England. I may have been inspired by the football in picking this question, but St George is the patron saint of England, but in what country is he buried? There's a tricky old question, and I'll give you a hint. It's not where they're doing the football at the moment. It's not in Germany. So you can scratch that one off your list. But if you think you know the answer, then give me a call, 01623 888 730. You can give me a text, 073 79 78 49 00. Or you can email requests at bowradio.co.uk and tell us, where is that patron saint of England buried? And while you're having a think about that, we'll give you a song from somebody from Northern Ireland, which is definitely not in England. It's You Little Thief, from the time before he was banging on about dirty water. If I said name a Farewell Sharky song, this probably wouldn't be top of your list, would it?
What would be?
I'm trying to think now.
No, me too.
But it wouldn't be this one. You Little Thief is Wee Natter from Bow Radio and Fatcham Town Radio 2. And I should probably stress, when I mentioned that he's banging on about dirty water, it's a good thing that he's doing that, because he's helping to raise the point that our water system isn't the cleanest, and water companies should probably get on top of it as well. He's doing good stuff nowadays, Farewell Sharky. But before I get a letter from people involved in the legal side of his life.
The Super Shonky Sunday Quiz.
A Wee Natter with Jenny and Mark Steele on Bow Radio.
Well, it turns out you're a very clued up sort of person, dear listener.
Yeah.
We were asking, St George is the patron saint of England, but in what country is he buried? And we've had a few guesses in, haven't we?
Yes, yeah. Well, I always go with what Stephen Hall goes with.
All right, and what's that?
Me and Stephen are going to go with Malta.
I like the thinking, understanding that it's probably not England if we're making this a quiz question.
I thought he was English as well.
No.
Stephen knew he wasn't.
No, he is not English.
But Stephen's also added on the end, the patron saint of squirrels. What's that about?
I have no idea. But Pawn Life 21 has been in touch with the correct answer. We've had a few other guesses as well, including for Vicky Fairweather saying that he was Syrian. So yes, he may have been Syrian, but he was not buried in Syria. I like the thinking there. You're going along the right sort of tracks, but not quite the right place. If you think you know, dear listener, then you've still got an opportunity to get in touch on the phone, 01623 888 730. You can text me, 073 79 78 49 00. Or you can even email requests at bowradio.co.uk and tell me, you know that St George chap, patron saint of England, who happen to be doing quite well in the football at the moment, which country is he buried in? You think you know? Let us know. Orson having a bright idea. It's a wee natter.
Bow Radio would like to thank all our sponsors. We couldn't be here without you.
Indeed, it's Bow Radio with special thanks to the Lions, Property Drain Check Mansfield, Ollerton and Booton Town Council, Alner Clark Cars, Edmonstowe Parish Council, Essential Site Sales Limited, Notts County Council, Walesby Parish Council, Workshop Freemasons, ABIB Motors Tuxford, and Sherwood Grange Care Centre as well.
The Super Shonky Sunday Quiz.
A Wee Natter with Jenny and Mark Steele on Bow Radio.
It is the quiz that is indeed so shonky on a Sunday. We've only got one question in it, but it's a tricky wee question, isn't it? Asking about St George, patron saint of England, because we might be football going on at the moment, but which country is he buried in? And a few more have you been in touch, haven't you?
Yeah, Cheryl's been in touch with the correct answer. And Merritt's been in touch with the correct answer.
Which, of course, is...
Give me the sheet. I don't know how you pronounce that. Is it Leda?
Yes, you can have Lida or Lod.
Lod?
That's the old name. Or, if you're going by modern definitions of countries and things like that, we'd have to go for Israel. So, that raises the question, when football comes home, does it go to the Middle East or does it go to England?
Oh.
These are questions that nobody knows the answer to. And on that note, keeping the questions going, Spagna, Call Me, the song that's bopping away in the background at the moment, right? It's got some sort of local connection to Nottingham. Do you know what it is? Well, we'll find out after the song itself. It's an ode to corned beef, Spagna and Call Me is a wee natter on Bow Radio and Faction Town Radio 2, and that song has a local connection. Did you manage to figure out what the connection between that song and Nottingham is, dear listener? Oh, it's a tricky one, isn't it? But Jenny knows the answer. What is the connection, Jenny?
It was filmed outside Ritz's and inside Ritz's nightclub.
Oh, the music video.
The music video, and even used the bouncers and stuff that worked at Ritz's at the time as well.
And you know that because...
I used to frequent Ritz's.
And also we've had it, somebody suggest on the line as well that the outdoor bits were filmed around Beaver Castle. So they basically touring around Nottinghamshire. That's your connection. That is the connection to Spagna's Call Me. And on a slightly different note, some things are just a bit freaky when they happen. We'll chat about one of those that could be described as a phantom feeling. After this one from Swing Out Sister, it's Breakout on A Wee Natter from Bow Radio and Faction Town Radio 2. I was about to say that's a bit of Swing Out Sister, but that's the whole band, isn't it? Breakout, A Wee Natter from Bow Radio and Faction Town Radio 2, where unfortunately we have got a complaint, dear listener. Yes. You better hear it, Jenny. What am I in trouble for?
We need to have more questions in the quiz where the answer is squirrel. Because you know how Stephen all thought it was the patron saint of squirrels, and I was like, you kill me, where's this come from? We just need to have more questions with where the answer's going to be squirrel.
So he wants me to rig the Super Shonky Sunday quiz, which already, as given by the name, is Shonky, to be, well, the rigged Super Shonky Sunday quiz where the answer's squirrel.
Yeah.
So if we do that next week, dear listener, all you have to do is say the word squirrel, and you get the classic sound effect. I like the thinking, but we're not quite there yet. And on that note, and having dealt with the complaint, we will definitely get on to the phantom feelings after this one. Not to get confused with white goods, it's Top Loader Dancing in the Moonlight on A Wee Natter from Bow Radio and Faction Town Radio 2. And have you ever had that thing where you feel like your phone has vibrated in your pocket only to find there was nothing there? Proper freaky stuff.
No, I've had it where I felt a tap on my elbow before and there's turned around, there's nobody there.
It wasn't somebody then sneaked onto the other side of you, tapped your other elbow and then sneaked back again.
Nobody ran.
Oh, that's proper freaky. And not quite as cool, although it is quite a cool thing that you're freaky tapping, but not quite as cool as predicting when a phone call was coming.
Oh.
You used to be able to do that, didn't you?
No? How?
If the phone was anywhere near some speakers, you get a...
Oh, yes, that's true.
It's like, oh, somebody's going to call me, or oh, I'm going to get a text message.
Yeah.
But you seem like some sort of... savant or something like that. You could predict it was coming until somebody realised that the noise was tied with the phone call coming. You can't do that anymore. But I was reading that in Japan they finally got rid of an ancient technology.
Oh.
What do you think it was?
Oh, I don't know.
I'll give you a hint. It's not the fax machine. And I'll be honest with you, fax machines will still be here even after the human race dies out. Some aliens will drop by and they'll find like a single fax machine pumping out adverts.
Yeah, they will.
Millions of years later. Fax machines are here forever. We're just going to have to deal with that. Japan has finally managed to kill off the floppy disk.
I was going to say a mini disc.
That's too modern. They've probably still got mini disc. Floppy disk. They finally managed to kill it off. Apparently, they were still using it for some official government stuff. The trick is just don't stick it on the fridge with a magnet. Don't ask me how I lost my CV that way. I'm still bitter about having to type it up again. But it got me wondering, would the kid even know if you showed them a floppy disk?
Probably not, no.
Would they know what it was? Or would they think, oh wow, you 3D printed the save icon? Not realising it was the other way around. And I only asked this because when I was a kid, I once came across a cine film camera. And I thought it was a gun. I can't imagine how, kids would deal with those free coasters we used to get from AOL through the post.
Oh, yeah.
You'd have no idea what those are used for. And on that note, Hank has been in touch, asking very nicely for a bit of style counsel and shout to the top. Should we play it for him, Jenny?
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's what we'll do. Brother Beyond, the harder I try. It's A Wee Natter from Bow Radio and Fatcham Town Radio 2, where you can also join us online at mixcloud.com/live/A Wee Natter, where you can watch radio. It's like television, but not quite there. You can watch radio, and we're having a few different conversations going on there because you can do a live chat thing, including Hank saying, Brother Beyond, long ago, thank you for the Style Council record, not a problem. Also, Audio Record saying, hello people, very good to everyone from Spain, here listening with all of you to some really good music. Thank you for this musical atmosphere.
Ooh.
So Jenny, you better take some credit for that, being our musical
I choose it all, you see.
choosing person, yes. And the other big conversation is about the football, because England did surprisingly well yesterday, was it? Or did they earlier this week?
Saturday, yes, yesterday.
England
Was it
did-
Saturday?
It's one of those, I'm not sure.
Oh, no.
Did surprisingly well and actually won a match on penalties. It's confusing, but we'll get round it. Which means they're in the semi-finals against the Netherlands on Wednesday. Couple of points on that. One, Henk will actually be at the match in Dortmund, just for the atmosphere, saying the best may win. We know which way your bread's buttered, Henk. We know you're going for the Netherlands. And
Come on, England.
also the points that what was the other point I was going to be? Oh yeah, it's such a big deal here, the England match getting to the semi-finals, that even the parish council is having the meeting rearranged so that everyone can actually go and see the football match.
Wow.
That's how big a deal it is round here. And looking ahead, there is a story that comes from, that is of course Murica, that will give you a proper scare if you've got a pet. Find out what it's all about after Take That.
It only takes a minute, girl.
All these years later, I still haven't figured out what a minute girl is. Or is he saying it only takes a minute, call my girl?
Yes.
Oh, that's taking me far longer than it should have to realise there. Take that! It's A Wee Natter from Bow Radio and Fatcham Town Radio 2, where we come with scary news from Murica. And it's to do with your pets as well. So in Colorado Springs, there was a house fire that broke out because a pet dog had done something. Any ideas what that pet dog might have done, Jenny?
Yeah, he just got a match and lit it and decided he was just going to, because he got given the wrong brand of dog food.
I can see a cat doing that. I don't think a dog doing that. Well, there is video that's doing the rounds at the moment on the internet, dear listener, where the dog reaches up on top of the gas stove, turns it on, and then sets some boxes on fire that they've stored on top of the gas stove. So a couple of lessons there. One, don't store boxes on top of the gas stove.
That's weird.
And two, why is your dog able to... How much have you trained your dog to be able to turn the knobs on the gas stove?
Yeah.
You know, I can hardly do it as a human when I know what I've got to do. I've got to press it in and got to turn it and click, 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 and it doesn't light half the time.
No.
It just sits there going click, 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 and the smell of gas slowly filling in the room, and you're sitting there thinking... Is this going to end in some sort of massive, nuclear level explosion or something like that? When I finally get it lit and it goes boom, and then my back door and my kitchen windows and all that will just blow out the side of the house. How a dog managed it, I've no idea. But a cat, I can see them doing it on purpose. That's the Communards Never Can Say Goodbye, which suggests that they say hello all the time.
Yeah.
It's A Wee Natter from Bo Radio and Fashion Town Radio 2. And unfortunately, I hate to bring bad news to you, but we have to call it a day. We will, of course, be back next week. But in the meantime, we're going to leave you with a bit of John Newman.
No, I done wrong.